Hello, everyone. I am Josh Gilliland, and with me, as always, is Jessica Mederson. And today, we are here to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Woohoo! Wearing my green, Josh. Since I'm Irish, I've got to wear my green. I see you've got an awesome green tie on there.
And a green shirt, and I can't
Oh,
calculate the exact percentage of Irish that I am because I'm a mutt, but there's a little in there as well.
I am 1/8, and in fact, it's my eyes. I'm the only kid. I've got two Norwegian granddads, and all the other grandkids have blue eyes because of that. And I have my great grandma's Irish brown eyes, so I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, we got mostly Scott, and from the Italian heritage, that's all the sweat glands. So it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. You're
Sorry about
here.
that. I burn easily.
Yeah, well, you go into the sun and burst into flame like a vampire. So we are here to discuss the legal issues around St. Patrick's Day. And some of you might be thinking, well, St. Patrick wasn't a lawyer. Are there Irish legal stories that we're going to talk about? Why are we doing this? So let's issue.
Ooh, in the name of the Father. That was an Irish legal story. I just thought of that. Was that Daniel Day-Lewis even?
I believe so. I would need to
Wow.
ask Google, but that's a very
I
good
think
point.
so. Yeah, that was an intense movie. Okay, sorry. Anyway, that just came into mind speaking of Irish legal issues. I think that's the only Irish legal movie I've ever seen.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, let's issue spot St. Patrick's Day. And Jessica, when you think St. Patrick's Day, what is the first legal issue that comes to mind?
Public intoxication.
That's right. St. Patrick's Day, perhaps, is the busiest day for criminal defense attorneys, and by extrapolation, we get into insurance defense guys. Because of the adversarial system, all the DAs are going to be busy as well with DUIs and other things taking place, people being stupid and getting into fights. And and the judges are the ones who lose, who really have to deal with all the stuff at the arraignment calendar. And since this is a Saturday before St. Patrick's Day, that means people are being stupid as we speak because they're not celebrating being Irish. They're not celebrating what St. Patrick did in his life. They're celebrating intoxication. And that's a very, very sad state to think of St. Patrick's Day. And unfortunately, it keeps lawyers very busy because of irresponsible behavior.
It does. A little bit of intoxication. I've done the have a beer before work on St. Patrick's Day thing. I mean, it's fun. It's celebratory. But yes, what happens is people take it too far, and that's where we get into the unfortunate legal issues, obviously.
Yeah, well, things can get out of hand badly. There's people being silly, singing on the streets, walking around, and their parents probably not being proud of the kid that they raised at that point. But
Aw.
then you look at the other extreme where you could kill someone from alcohol poisoning, and so
Or drunk driving, which is obviously a very serious concern, yes.
and so
But
it
there are ways to enjoy St. Patrick's Day responsibly and still have some fun. But as all the criminal defense lawyers know, there are a lot of people who do go too far, which they love.
yeah,
Well, they don't love, but it's good for business.
they're probably busy. A lot of them probably have their cell phones on and they're waiting for calls, and so it's probably a horrible way to celebrate the holiday. But that's the first unpleasant one that comes to
Yes.
mind. Let's look at some other ones. The other thing that I think of right out of the gate when you say St. Patrick's Day is parades. Now,
Ah.
there was a case that challenged a city helping organize a St. Patrick's Day parade, and it was challenged that it was violating the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, saying it violated the clause about establishing a religion. And the court stated, no, no, we're not establishing a religion by helping organize the St. Patrick's Day parade. They are merely, helping celebrate all the Irish citizens and all their friends to celebrate being Irish. And so it was not establishing a religion by honoring St. Patrick, which is
Ah.
and so that carried into a case involving kosher foods as well, where that was also dealt with challenges on First Amendment grounds. And some
I like
people
kosher hot dogs.
and that's what they looked at. It was like, people eat kosher food because they like kosher food.
That's right.
It's not establishing a religion. And so, but when you look at parades and what they can do with that, you get into time, place, and manner, and the permit responsibilities and whether or not that's causing a violation or not of the First Amendment or other things, because we have the right to assemble at
That's
something.
right.
And there are other cases that talk about the importance of parades. It's just something that Americans do. And a St. Patrick's Day parade is something that we honor. Now, things get ugly quickly when you look at some of the cases out of Boston dealing with who could participate in the parades, and
Yes.
that got very messy and very complicated, and there's been a whole body of case law that sprung out of those cases dealing with that. So just unpleasantness.
I feel like a lot of that has been resolved, though, eh? That felt like, was that big in the 90s? I'm getting old. I can't remember when that was, but there were, yeah, I know there were some hotly contested years in there.
Yeah, and there were several. A lot of them were from the 90s. I think there was a couple in like 2000 to 2001, maybe. I could be
Okay.
wrong on that. I need to look at them. But it dealt with it's a private event or is it a public event, and right to access and everything, and who's organizing it. And so you get into those type of issues very quickly with what you want to do. So just little things.
And of course, that brings up the point, too, that like when we're talking about the public intoxication or anything else about some of the criminal issues that could come up with St. Patrick's Day, even though we're both Irish and my grandma used to give me cream de mint to celebrate St. Patrick's Day as a good Irish grandma, I guess, really, St. Patrick's Day has gone beyond the Catholics or beyond the Irish, and it is just at this point, for most people, for a large amount of at least the American population, it's a secular holiday. It's the same thing, kind of the same idea as Mardi Gras, which I guess in theory would also have its roots in the Catholic religion, or Cinco de Mayo, which I celebrated in Texas, even though I had, was not of Mexican descent or anything. So it is just one of those events that Americans are very good at turning into a party, regardless of the origins of the actual event.
Well, it's commercialism at its finest, because when you look
Yes.
at all the leprechauns and the pots of gold and the chocolate candies and everything that goes into it, it's a very commercial holiday. And let us not forget Shamrock Shakes. I mean, part of me wants to go out and get one right now because you know what? They are tasty.
Yeah, I've never been big on the green ice cream idea. I don't know. I'm like, green vegetables, yes. My ice cream should be brown, so I can't. The green ice creams always seemed odd. Not as odd as the blue ice cream that my kids love, but green ice cream's still a little weird.
I like corned beef, but I'm not a big fan of
Oh.
cabbage, and that's something that's just I'm not. But how many people are actually? You have to think how many people are actually celebrating with the traditional meal. And I was quite fortunate a few years ago. This intersected with, I believe it was ABA Tech Show, and I was there, and it intersected with St. Patrick's Day. And so I
Oh.
had, the day everyone left, I actually had lunch with a federal judge who attended the show, and we chatted all, and we had a traditional Irish lunch. It was very good. And then before going home, I watched them turn the river green, which probably had
Oh,
all kinds of permits that they had to do for that.
that's
Uh,
true.
with the orange dye that goes in and turns it green, and it's a secret formula that only the plumbers know, which is kind of cool when you think about it. And
Wow.
yeah, so there's all those hoops that they have to go through for that in order to make that
Sure.
work.
Environmental issues, yes.
Make sure they're not dumping anything toxic into the river to turn it green, things of that nature, that everything's going to be hunky-dory. So it's, getting to experience a St. Patrick's Day in Chicago was pretty cool.
That would be fun. That would be very cool. I'll have to do that now that I'm closer to Chicago.
It's a very loving city, and so it was a very cool experience to see how they rolled out the green carpet and had a good time in Chicago with all the different food and everything. So it was fun. So,
Ah.
but that also brings us to what else do we celebrate at St. Patrick's Day? And we got to throw in music, because there's the Irish saved written language. That's something we can never forget, and we owe them a debt of gratitude on that. They've produced amazing engineers, and they've produced amazing musicians, because who can think
Yeah.
of Ireland and not think U2? And sure,
Oh, not anyone of our generation, that's for sure. I think we are firmly in that U2 camp.
I've seen them, I won't say how many times, I've seen them multiple times in concert. They are a great live
Wow.
band. And so just, very, very cool. And so, unfortunately, it just very, very cool. So, but then you get into all the others that are out there, and but there are a lot of great Irish musicians, Irish engineers, and they did
Irish
say,
dancers, right? That Lord, who was the Lord of the Dance? Wasn't that, what was his name? Flaherty?
yeah, that's never been my bag, so I wouldn't know. I'm not a river dancer, so that would not that's just not going to happen, Jessica. That's sorry. I'm no.
Oh, another dream
There
dashed.
there are other things I'm good at, and river dancing is not anywhere on the list. So sorry.
There's also those, is it the Celtic women that are always on the PBS fun drives? My daughter loves those girls, those ladies. She can watch them sing in their big ball gowns for hours.
Yeah, I have several of their albums from Christmas to. Who doesn't like a good cover of Amazing Grace sung by Irish women who know how to sing? It's really, I mean, Celtic women are awesome, so it's good stuff. So it really
I
depends.
do not get that appeal, but okay.
I like music. I'm a cultured individual who listens to lots of different music, and they're very good.
Oh, all right.
Oh, America! I mean, come on. So you have to look at everything that the Irish did for humankind, and really, respect that, and as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So that's the way I view this. Despite the fact there could be some people who were totally ignoring that they gave up reason for Lent and they're out having an inappropriate time in the name of St. Patrick, and that's just wrong. So,
Well, I would say I think it's okay to have some fun in honor of St. Patrick and the Irish, because I do know that my grandma loved to go out and she could have a very good time. I just think we do need to be responsible. You shouldn't give up all responsibility for Lent. So be responsible while you're out there having fun. Let the criminal defense attorneys and the judges and DAs have a nice, quiet weekend, and just be safe while you're having a good time.
or be like me and be uber conservative and boring. So you have a couple life choices.
I don't want to say it.
Okay. Nothing good happens after 9 o'clock. Stay in. Be safe. Wake up Sunday morning. That's my advice.
Thank you, Great Uncle Josh.
This moment with Dad was offered to you by... Exactly.
Oh. All right. Well, I feel like I need to go.
You go have your Shamrock Shake or green beer or whatever makes you...
Yes, I need some sort of alcohol now.
I'm strangely craving a Shamrock Shake, so that could be on tonight's menu. And it's not 9 o'clock yet my time, so I'm safe. But with that,
All right, go, hurry.
America, stay geeky, and Ireland, thank you for everything you've done for the human race. So.
Yeah.